What if the simple act of interacting with the universe could change its very nature? What if reality itself bends and transforms based on your awareness of it? The double-slit experiment, a simple test of light and particles, shattered everything we thought we knew about reality. It showed that the universe is not just a machine, but something profoundly tied to observation and consciousness. But this isn't just about quantum mechanics. These revelations echo through ancient wisdom, from the Emerald Tablet to the principles of Hermetic philosophy. Could the observer effect be the bridge between science and mysticism, the key to understanding the true nature of reality? Stay with us as we unravel the mystery. The double-slit experiment revealed something astonishing. Particles of light and even matter behave differently depending on whether they're being observed. This isn't just a quirk of physics, it's a window into the fabric of existence. And yet, this idea isn't new. For centuries, mystics and philosophers have spoken of consciousness shaping reality. Hermeticism, one of the oldest esoteric traditions, teaches that the all is mind, and that the observer and the observed are deeply interconnected. So, what does the double-slit experiment mean for us? Could it be proof of ancient wisdom or something even more profound? The Kybalion, a foundational text of Hermetic philosophy, asserts that the all is mind, suggesting that reality is fundamentally mental or consciousness-based. The principle of mentalism implies that the universe is shaped by thought and awareness. When viewed through the lens of the observer effect, this principle takes on a profound meaning. If quantum systems collapse into specific states upon observation, it aligns with the Hermetic idea that consciousness plays an active role in shaping the material world. Another core Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without, parallels the quantum reality that the macro and micro levels of existence are interconnected. This suggests that understanding the role of observation is not just a scientific endeavor, but a spiritual one. Think about this. Reality itself seems to depend on whether we're watching. Could the Hermetic principle of mentalism explain this? Is consciousness not just a byproduct of the universe, but its very foundation? Philosophers from ancient to modern times have grappled with concepts that parallel the observer effect, making their insights remarkably relevant. Plato and the theory of forms. Plato's theory of forms suggests that the physical world is a shadow or reflection of perfect, immutable forms that exist in a higher non-material realm. Observation in this framework is an act of perceiving an imperfect representation of these ideal forms. The 18th century philosopher George Berkeley proposed subjective idealism, the idea that physical objects exist only as perceptions in the minds of observers. Berkeley famously declared, "To be is to be perceived." For Berkeley, the ultimate observer was God, continuously perceiving and sustaining the universe. Heidegger explored the relationship between being and human consciousness, emphasizing the role of Dasein, human existence, as the entity that discloses or brings meaning to the world. For Heidegger, the world isn't an objective, independent reality. It is revealed through our engagement with it. Philosophers like Edmund Husserl and Maurice Merleau-Ponty explored phenomenology, the study of experience and perception. Merleau-Ponty, in particular, argued that perception is not a passive act, but an active engagement that shapes reality. Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy challenged the idea of objective truths, suggesting that reality is a construct shaped by perspective and interpretation. His concept of perspectivism argues that there is no single, objective reality, only a multitude of perspectives. These philosophical connections illuminate how the observer effect challenges traditional views of an independent, objective universe. Instead, it points toward a participatory cosmos, where observation and interaction are fundamental to existence, but not everyone agrees. While Hermeticism sees the observer as central to creation, Classical physics envisioned a universe that exists independently of us, which is correct. Or could they both hold pieces of the truth? The observer effect, which demonstrates that the active observation influences the outcome of quantum events, resonates deeply with mystical and esoteric traditions. Exploring concepts like the Kybalions' Hermetic principles, Aleister Crowley's occult philosophy, and Zen koans reveals how ancient wisdom aligns with the mysterious nature of observation and reality. Aleister Crowley, a key figure in modern occultism, emphasized the concept of true will, the alignment of one's conscious intent with the deeper forces of the universe. Crowley's magic wasn't about manipulating the world directly, but aligning perception and intent to bring about change. His famous dictum, "Every intentional act is a magical act," suggests that observation and willpower are transformative forces. This resonates with the observer effect, which demonstrates that interaction with a quantum system, whether through a detector or the intent to measure, alters its state. The parallels between Crowley's magic and the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics suggest that mystical practice and science might be exploring the same fundamental truth, that observation, whether through ritual or measurement, is an act of creation. Zen Buddhism, with its focus on transcending duality and grasping the nature of existence, often uses Koan's paradoxical questions or statements designed to disrupt logical thinking and spark enlightenment. Consider the famous koan: if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? This question challenges the idea of existence independent of observation, mirroring the quantum dilemma of whether particles exist in definite states without being measured. Another koan, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" forces the practitioner to confront the limits of perception and dualistic thinking. The observer effect similarly challenges conventional notions of reality by showing that particles don't decide their state until they are measured, blurring the lines between subject and object. In Zen, this recognition is not meant to remain intellectual, but to awaken the practitioner to the interconnected nature of observer and observed, unity echoed in quantum mechanics. The mystical nature of the observer effect lies in its challenge to the separation between self and other. The act of observing a quantum system alters its behavior, just as mystical teachings suggest that awareness transforms reality itself. By exploring these intersections, we see a profound connection between ancient wisdom and modern science. Both reveal that the observer is not separate from the observed, but an integral part of the unfolding universe. In alchemy, the process of transformation, turning base metals into gold, isn't just physical but spiritual. The observer, or the alchemist, must focus their intent to initiate the transformation. Now consider the double-slit experiment. Without observation, there is no clear outcome. Could this be modern alchemy, where the act of looking transforms the nature of the particle? But how does this work scientifically? The double-slit experiment shows that particles behave as waves until we observe them. This implies that at the quantum level, reality exists as probabilities, a set of potential outcomes. Observation collapses these probabilities into a single reality. The Copenhagen interpretation, proposed by Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg in the early 20th century, is one of the most widely known explanations of quantum mechanics. It suggests that quantum systems exist in a state of probability, a superposition of all possible outcomes until a measurement is made. The active measurement collapses this superposition into a single definite state. In essence, the Copenhagen interpretation implies that reality at the quantum level is not determined until it is observed or interacted with. A key feature of this interpretation is its focus on the role of measurement rather than consciousness. The collapse of the wave function occurs due to the interaction between the quantum system and the measuring apparatus. not necessarily because of a conscious observer. The Copenhagen interpretation challenges classical notions of an objective, observer-independent reality by suggesting that quantum phenomena are fundamentally tied to the context of observation. This makes reality at the quantum level inherently probabilistic and dependent on interaction. The delayed choice experiment, first proposed by John Wheeler, is a variation of the double-slit experiment. In this setup, a photon's path is determined after it has already passed through the slits, meaning the decision to observe it happens retroactively. The results suggest that the choice to observe or measure a quantum system affects its past behavior, reinforcing the idea that observation fundamentally shapes reality. This challenges classical ideas of causality. The quantum Zeno effect demonstrates that a quantum system's evolution can be frozen by continuous observation. Essentially, frequent measurements prevent the system from changing its state. This effect shows that observation doesn't just collapse the wave function. It can also halt or manipulate the natural progression of a system. Highlighting the active role of measurement, chaos theory explores systems highly sensitive to initial conditions, where small changes can lead to vastly different outcomes, the butterfly effect. While not strictly quantum, chaos theory complements the observer effect by showing that seemingly small actions, like a measurement or observation, can have profound impacts on a system's trajectory. Weak measurement allows scientists to gather limited information about a quantum system without fully collapsing its wave function. Contextuality refers to the idea that the outcome of a measurement depends on how it's performed. Weak measurements provide insight into a quantum system's state without forcing it into a specific outcome, showing that even subtle observation alters the probabilities. Contextuality underscores the active role of the observer in determining reality. The observer effect is supported by a wide range of scientific phenomena, from quantum entanglement to neuroscience, decoherence, and even cosmology. These insights converge on a profound truth. Observation, whether through measurement, interaction, or consciousness, is not a passive act, but a participatory one. The principle echoes through various fields, challenging us to reconsider our role in shaping the reality we experience. Think of it like this: the universe is like an infinite playlist, and consciousness presses play on a single track. Without an observer, everything remains in a state of possibility. This brings us to quantum entanglement. Two particles can affect each other instantly, no matter how far apart they are, a phenomenon Einstein called spooky action at a distance. Could this interconnectedness mirror Hermeticism's idea of unity, that all things are one? Some believe the implications of the observer effect go far deeper. What if governments or elite groups have explored ways to harness this knowledge? Imagine technologies designed to manipulate reality itself, turning observation into control. The experiments conducted at particle colliders, such as CERN's Large Hadron Collider, LHC, have been a magnet for conspiratorial speculation. Some believe that particle collider experiments are doing more than probing the quantum world. They're actively influencing or even rewriting the fabric of reality. Observing quantum states can collapse possibilities into specific outcomes. Conspiracists suggest that experiments like those at CERN, which involve smashing particles at nearly the speed of light, create micro-observations on a massive scale, potentially destabilizing reality. Claims that particle collisions might delete certain probabilities, leading to alternate outcomes or even shifts in collective memory, a tie to the Mandela effect, collective misremembering of historical facts. The observer effect in quantum experiments could be inadvertently unlocking gateways to other dimensions or timelines. Critics of CERN often claim that its high-energy collisions could serve as an accidental or intentional key to parallel realities. These conspiracies extend this idea speculating that particle colliders are creating observations so profound they might reveal or interact with higher dimensional entities. Simulation theory posits that reality is a digital construct, much like a highly advanced video game. The observer effect becomes a cornerstone in many of these theories, as it offers tantalizing evidence that reality might be dependent on observation, much like rendering graphics in a video game. In a simulated universe, reality is rendered only when observed to save computational resources. The observer effect could be the mechanism by which the simulation determines what needs to be rendered in detail. The observer effect might reveal glitches in the simulation, such as phenomena that defy classical logic, quantum entanglement, or retrocausality. Some conspiracists link this to reports of paranormal activity, UFO sightings, or unexplainable events suggesting these could be simulation anomalies. The Mandela effect, the collective misremembering of facts, is sometimes attributed to shifts in the simulation's programming. Proponents argue that quantum experiments may have observed the simulation into altered states, causing subtle changes to history. Random number generators, RNGs, are programs designed to produce sequences of numbers that are completely unpredictable and statistically random. However, studies, particularly those conducted by the Global Consciousness Project, GCP, suggest that these devices may exhibit patterns that correlate with collective human consciousness. The principle at play is intriguingly similar to the observer effect in quantum mechanics. The act of observation or interaction seems to influence outcomes in a measurable way. While skeptics argue that these findings could result from coincidence or methodological flaws, proponents suggest they point to a deeper connection between consciousness and the quantum fabric of reality, where the mind interacts with probabilities, even at microscopic levels. Retrocausality, the idea that events in the present can influence the past, has gained attention in quantum mechanics, particularly through delayed choice experiments. This has fueled conspiracies that scientists could be sending information back in time, creating paradoxes or manipulating history itself. The observer effect might not just collapse present possibilities, but rewrite the record of the past. Some conspiracists speculate that phenomena like déjà vu or time loops could be evidence of retroactive quantum collapses. Governments or private entities might already be experimenting with controlling these effects to manipulate global events. Covert programs might be researching how to weaponize the observer effect by training individuals to influence quantum probabilities with their minds. Theoretical work on quantum consciousness suggests that directed attention could amplify or collapse specific outcomes. This idea fuels conspiracies about elite attempts to engineer reality manipulators. Advanced AI systems might already be interacting with quantum systems as observers, effectively taking over the role of consciousness in shaping reality. Could it one day control what is observed and therefore what reality becomes? The observer effect challenges the very nature of objective reality, suggesting that the act of observation shapes existence. This profound idea provides fertile ground for speculation, blending science, philosophy, and mysticism into narratives that question who or what is in control of reality itself. Whether it's particle colliders opening portals, simulated universes rendering on demand, or elite powers steering collective observation, the possibilities are as wild as they are thought-provoking. The entire premise of The Matrix revolves around the idea that reality is a construct shaped by perception and observation. Neo's journey from an unknowing participant to an active observer of the simulated reality mirrors the role of measurement in collapsing quantum possibilities into specific outcomes. Neo's ability to see the Matrix as streams of code represents the power of observation in shaping and understanding reality. Christopher Nolan's Inception explores layers of dreams where the observer, dreamer, influences the environment. This ties to the observer effect, as the dreamer's expectations and beliefs collapse possibilities into specific dream states. Cobb and his team manipulate dream environments, demonstrating how intent and observation alter reality within the dream. Interstellar delves into higher dimensional space and the role of observation in shaping time and reality. When Cooper enters the Tesseract, he interacts with time as a tangible medium, observing and influencing events in the past. Doctor Strange integrates the observer effect through its portrayal of reality-bending magic. The Ancient One and Strange manipulate probabilities and reshape reality, echoing the quantum idea that perception collapses potential outcomes. The mirror dimension highlights the dynamic relationship between the observer and the observed. As Strange navigates a reality shaped by intent, Black Mirror. The Bandersnatch interactive episode of Black Mirror allows viewers to make decisions that directly alter the story, reflecting the observer effects principle that choices shape outcomes. The character becomes aware of the audience's influence, blurring the line between observer and participant. Westworld. The show examines artificial consciousness and the role of observation and self-awareness. The host's growing ability to observe and question their reality leads them to transcend their programmed existence. Dolores and Maeve's awakening demonstrates how observation of one's reality alters one's state of being, much like measurement collapses quantum states. Philip K. Dick's Ubik. In Ubik, reality is fluid and shaped by perception, with objects and environments fluctuating based on the character's awareness. This aligns with the quantum principle that observation determines reality. The mysterious substance Ubik stabilizes reality, symbolizing the power of observation and intent to shape outcomes. These pop culture examples resonate with the core ideas of the observer effect, exploring how observation, consciousness, and intent shape reality. Whether through quantum mechanics, higher dimensions, or simulated worlds, they underscore the profound interplay between the observer and the observed, blending science with speculative storytelling. Could these fictional tales be reflections of a deeper truth? The observer effect is far more than just a scientific principle confined to quantum physics. It's a lens through which we can examine the deepest questions about reality, consciousness, and our role in the cosmos. Whether we're discussing the double-slit experiment, particle colliders, simulation theory, or ancient mysticism, one truth becomes clear: observation is not a passive act. It is an active, participatory process that shapes the universe around us. Philosophers, mystics, and scientists alike have long pondered the power of perception. In the end, the observer effect invites us to reflect on our place in the grand design. If observation shapes reality, what kind of world are we collectively creating? Are we passive witnesses, or are we active participants in the unfolding of the cosmos? Whether through science, mysticism, or imagination, the observer effect offers a profound reminder that we are not separate from the universe. We are co-creators of its very fabric. Think about that. Your consciousness, your attention, is part of the cosmic dance shaping what's real. What happens when we look deeper? When we observe with purpose and intent? The observer effect challenges us to embrace our role not just as witnesses, but as creators of the reality we experience. Whether through science, spirituality, or everyday choices, the power is in your hands, in your eyes, and in your awareness. If this expanded your mind, subscribe, share, and comment with your thoughts below. What do you think the observer effect reveals about reality, and what should we explore next? Let's keep observing, keep questioning, and keep creating.